Hi, this is Mike Hendrickson from Strata Hadoop World in New York City. I'm here with David Richards. David, how you doing?
Great as always. Good to see you again, Mike.
You too. And you're the CEO still of WANdisco.
I am.
And you guys have a new product out now?
We do. We launched the product sort of March, April timeframe-ish. It's called WANdisco Fusion. And what that does is it very simply plugs into any Hadoop, or in fact non-Hadoop, HCFS compliant storage system and replicates it for reliability, resilience, and redundancy.
Replicates your data?
All the data, that's right. So we've got customers, for example, that have data center 1 and want to move it to data center 2, replicate it to data center 2 for business continuity reasons. But also, we enable customers to use 100% of the hardware because we don't have a disaster recovery site. Everything's active, so it's active replication between data centers.
And so what are you seeing as the most uptake from the customer segments for this? Is it finance? Is it...
So we're a function of customers that are in a lab at the moment, kicking the tires, and the show's full of those type of customers that are looking at ways in which they can use Hadoop and big data in their organizations. Now, we all know in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, every company is going to implement big data because it's going to be the fundamental source of competitive advantage. But we're just at the beginning. The green shoots are showing of customers using these for mission-critical applications. And you're right, financial services is the first segment where they recognize that reliability, redundancy of these critical applications is important, so they're the first set of customers that are using our technology.
Excellent. So where do you see this going in the future? I mean, what is your kind of go-to-market strategy? Is there targets or...
Exactly. So as the market evolves from a lab, kicking the tires and testing the technology out, that really is a function of the sort of the technology businesses in this space that are helping people to give them a distribution, to train them, to provide professional services, all that sort of education stuff. But we think as companies go into production, the market reverts to type. And by type, I mean it's those big whales, it's the sort of 7 big companies that control data centers today. IBM, Cisco, Microsoft, Oracle, and so on and so forth.
Google.
Google, yes, exactly. And there's a battle royale going on right now in the cloud. And we're seeing these companies aggressively compete for that mind share. So our go-to-market, unsurprisingly, is with those guys. So we announced a raft of deals with, at the moment, our key partner was Oracle for the Oracle Big Data Appliance. So their customers absolutely have SLAs, service level agreements, where they are using mission-critical applications. And today we announced another key partnership with EMC, one of those 7 big whales that control the data center. So that's really our go-to-market strategy.
Excellent. So what do you see on the near horizon for WANdisco? Let's say in the next 6 months, what would you like to see happen?
So we've got a growth trajectory of customers right now that are moving into production. Our average deal sizes are quite high, more like a $500,000 classic enterprise sale. So I think you're going to see us sign more and more customers and do more strategic partnerships around those 7 big vendors.
So, and is this, if they're the 7 big vendors, is this really controlling the enterprise? I mean, when you think about the classic enterprise, it's the big whales, it's the big companies.
So if you think about this market, and just take a step back for a second, I think nothing's really changing. The thing that's changing is the cost infrastructure to support this massive growth in digital storage requirements. So we think those are the vendors really that are going to continue, not changing control, but continue to control enterprise.
Excellent. So if you could fast forward 12 months from now, and I think we just talked about the near term, now let's go long term. Mm-hmm. Where do you think this whole data world is going in the next year? And where do you want to be in that world?
So you're going to see an increased prevalence of companies moving to cloud. I think it's unquestionable that given virtualization, the efficiencies that Spark brings you, that companies are going to move aggressively to cloud. That's wonderful news for WANdisco, because if you move from behind the firewall with petabyte scale ingest jobs into a cloud environment, how do you do that without an outage? That's called an active-active use case. That's what we do. So you're going to see WANdisco transporting companies from behind the firewall to a mixed environment involving cloud.
Excellent. Well, David, we look forward to seeing you on that journey. Thank you.
Mike.